Wolf in a sheep herd or fox in a henhouse. Russia is in UN Security Council. Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs Sergei Lavrov chairs UN Security Council debate. This is what we're going to talk about today. Hi, I'm Elena. This is my channel Enough. It's a political channel and I'm saying enough of propaganda. And that's what basically I'm doing on my channel. I'm telling the truth and fighting propaganda. And not necessarily just Russian one. Let's talk about the disgusting speech Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov had in United Nations Security Council. It just outrageous and it just blowing my mind away. The amount of lies he said in one short speech is just absolutely unbelievable. And if I didn't know better, I would be surprised, but I'm not, since I disproved lies of Russian propaganda for years and publicly on my YouTube channel since spring 2022. But since I'm originally from Russia and USSR, I was fighting it long ago. Fighting KGB, fighting Russian propaganda, fighting Putin's regime. And even in 2014, I was fighting the annexation of Crimea, the attack of Russia on Ukraine. And now it was, I almost threw up listening to this nonsense, utter garbage. So I won't recommend you to listen, except a few moments I'll show you.
Mr. Secretary General, distinguished colleagues, it is symbolic that we are holding today's meeting on the International Day of Multilateralism and Diplomacy for Peace, which has been enshrined on the calendar of significant dates under General Assembly resolution dating 12 December 2018. In 2 weeks, we will commemorate the 78th anniversary of the victory during the Second World War.
So, in 2 words, Lavrov referred to World War II, trying to establish some sort of a common ground, which right now there is none. If in World War II, at least Russia was a less fascist state, or debatable, than Nazi Germany, and really actually did help the world eventually, after Stalin stopped supporting Hitler and stopped training Hitler troops and providing them with fuel and everything, and allowing Hitler to go around rules and regulations and sanctions imposed on Nazi Germany. Yes, USSR did fight Germany, and yes, they did beat up Germany out of Russian borders, but this is all in the past. Whatever Lavrov is saying now, and throwing around a bunch of words like multipolar world, Russia doesn't want multipolar world. Putin wants to be a czar of the world. And this is as multipolar as it gets. And to become a czar, he has to remove the world leaders, which is United States, which is European Union. All of them have to be removed, just to clear space for the new Russian czar. From the country which economy less than 2% of the world economy, and it was before the full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. So, dictatorship country who cannot build a good life inside the country, trying to rule the world. It would be funny if the country didn't have nuclear weapons, which they multiple times threatened the world with nukes. Putin threatened the world with nukes. And right now Lavrov sitting here and talking about, oh, how we're supposed to have the peace. And he keep repeating his lies, outer lies about Ukraine, about so-called Kiev regime. There is no Kiev regime. There is a legal government of independent country of Ukraine, which has 2 legal elections, real elections, not like in Russia. Like, I am Russian citizen as well as Canadian, and Putin is usurper. He took the power by faked elections, which he murdered and removed opposition, jailed opposition, and murdered them like Boris Nemtsov was murdered, Navalny is in jail and get tortured there and beaten up. So there is no rights, there is no law, neither inside Russia nor outside Russia. Russia broke the Budapest Memorandum when they swear to protect Ukraine, because Ukraine, in exchange, give Russia all its nuclear arsenal, the third in the world. And what happened? Russia attacked Ukraine. Russia broke Budapest Memorandum, a whole bunch of about 400-something international laws in the process. And he's talking about international law, whining and sniveling and complaining that, oh boy, other countries upset Russia. Oh, they don't like Russia. Oh boy, sanctions are imposed on us. Why would that be? Nobody was imposing sanctions on Russia before Russia attacked Ukraine in 2014. Don't attack other countries. Respect other borders. He talking about, like, Russian propaganda is very simple. Basically, listen to what say Putin or Lavrov, completely reverse everything 180 degrees. So if they say black, they mean white. If they say white, they mean black. If they blame United States on something, it means they doing it themselves, Russia. And in my opinion, Lavrov shouldn't even be a chair in Security Council, or Russia should be excluded from UN. And veto should be removed from any country, not just Russia, who started aggressive wars. Period. And all these people sitting and listening to his garbage, utter nonsense in every word. Like, if you like to see the how many lies Lavrov said, I'll show you. I have it all in my channel. This is my channel enough. Enough of propaganda. And if you go to playlists, you can see that I already have around over 218 videos just on this channel alone. In this playlist, War in Ukraine 2022, there is a whole video, big video, Lavrov lies exposed, my comments on Lavrov interview to BBC. He's already keep repeating this thing over and over and over, so many times. Everything, from the coup in Kiev, which never happened, there was no coup. Ukrainian president at the time, Yanukovych, ran away and abandoned his country. And every other lie already exposed in this video. That is why it's so long. It's very long video. But I literally grab him by the collar and shove his nose in every lie he said in this interview to Mr. Rosenberg. Lavrov is not a diplomat. Lavrov is a professional propagandist. Propagandist is a profession in USSR. These people were taught and trained in universities how to lie to people, how to manipulate people. And several times during this interview in here, Lavrov using a lot of KGB tactics like whataboutism. Right now, when the war in Ukraine is going on, which Russia started full-scale invasion in February 2022, and he's talking about Iraq and about other things and trying to blame, I don't know, United States, Anglo-Saxons, whoever. Nothing NATO or United States or anybody else did wrong about the war in Ukraine. Nothing what they did whatsoever was relevant to any of this. Russia attacked Ukraine. And I proved it in my playlist. I'll show you. There is a whole playlist called The War in Ukraine 2014. This is very in details. I'm talking about what happened to Crimea in 2014. And stages of hybrid occupation, when Russian troops, over 70,000 of them, invaded Crimea. Some of them were already there on the Russian military base in Sevastopol. When Russian Kazakhs from Russia, Russian citizens with Russian passports, led by Girkin Strelkov, the guy who knocked down the plane MH17, invaded Crimea and started the war in Ukraine. Strelkov personally admitting that he started the war in Ukraine. Putin personally admitted that Crimea belonged to Ukraine and there are no problems there whatsoever in 2008. And you will see it also in these videos. This is very, very detailed, with facts and proofs and everything. If you want to know only briefly, here you go. There is another playlist. This is just the facts about the state of Ukraine, which saying there was a referendum in Ukraine, and every part of Ukraine, include Crimea, include Sevastopol as a city in Crimea in Russia, where the Russian military base temporarily located according to the agreement at the time, they all, majority of them, voted to be independent country of Ukraine. There is no question about it. This is international law. Mr. Lavrov so fond of and thinking it should be obeyed, which Russia broke. And this is very short video, 19 minutes, when you can know about the war in Ukraine, who started it, how it started, very shortly. So this is up to you to know. Educate yourself. I have a lot of playlists. Another one is also very interesting, is this one. Important to know about the war in Ukraine. And the first video is a conclusion. Would be not many proofs right in this one. It's a little bit wider and more detailed than the previous one I just talked about. But first, about 8 videos up to here, you can see all what you need to know about the war in Ukraine. Who started it, how it started, what Strelkov admits that he started the war in Ukraine, that Putin admits that Crimea belongs to Ukraine, that there is no problems whatsoever. He even feel offended that somebody say, the journalist asking, is it Ukraine your next target? How dare you? What do you mean next target? There is no problems in Ukraine. We're never gonna... Want to talk about Nazis? There is a whole video about it. Want to talk about NATO? There is another 2 videos. This is old one. And now there is a new one about Finland. So you're welcome to educate yourself and know what is happening in Russia. There is also videos about lots of other things. So you're welcome to educate yourself. So you don't fall for this kind of garbage, utter lies and manipulation. And I'm glad that at least some countries didn't. Like, for instance, this is a representative of the United States.
For the UN Charter. At the United Nations, if you ask a difficult policy question, you get 193 different answers. That makes our work challenging, but it is also right, because after all, that is what the UN is all about. Our hypocritical convener today, Russia, invaded its neighbor, Ukraine, and struck at the heart of the UN Charter and all the values we hold dear. This illegal, unprovoked, and unnecessary war runs directly counter to our most shared principles, that a war of aggression and territorial conquest is never, ever acceptable. And as we sit here, that aggression continues. As we sit here, Russian forces continue to kill and injure civilians. As we sit here, Russian forces are destroying Ukraine's critical infrastructure. As we sit here, we brace ourselves for the next Bucha, the next Mariupol, the next Kherson, the next war crime.
I wish the world know a little bit more. Like even American representative talking about Bucha, Kherson. She's talking about 2022-23. What about 2014? If you watch my video about Bucha and so on, you will find out that in 2014 was, for example, Slavyansk, which when Ukraine liberated the city, they find the same thing there. Russia did it before. Russia did it in Afghanistan, USSR did it, Russia did it in Chechnya, Russia did it in Syria, Russia did it in other places, wherever Russia was. Russian Wagner group PMC Wagner, which is illegal by Russian law, killing people in Africa. Were killing people in Africa before and doing it now. They are releasing prisoners out of African jail and taking them to fight for them. They murdering people with a sledgehammer and chopping their heads off. They did it before. And now, big surprise, Bucha. The world didn't stop Russia then. The world need to do it now.
The next unconscionable atrocity. 141 UN member states have made it abundantly clear Russia's full-scale invasion was not about self-defense. Russia simply wants to redraw international borders by force in violation of this very UN Charter.
Exactly.
And that goes against everything this institution stands for.
Exactly. Russia did it in 2014. Nobody attacked Russia. The proof is in the pudding. Whose flag is in Crimea? Ukrainian? No. Canadian? No. United States? No. It's not flag of European Union or NATO. It's a Russian flag. And now, after full-scale invasion, Russia put its flag or even didn't put its flag. Russia just claims that now not just Crimea or so-called Donetsk Lugansk People's Republic. Russia is talking about annexation whole bunch of other territories. Even Zaporozhye region, which they didn't even have troops in the many places in Zaporozhye region or a capital of it. But Russia declared that is mine now. So Russia not just redrawing international borders, it's complete disregard for law, either inside the country or outside the country. It's a torture of Russian people, and it's wrong. Russia should be removed from United Nations and Security Council. This is what I suggest. And until Russia not taught a lesson that every country is supposed to obey laws, international laws, and so on, the sanctions shouldn't be removed. More sanctions should be imposed. Ukraine should get all the weapons they need to stop that aggression. Because we are next. Russia not even hiding it. Like their propagandists and even leaders of the state claiming that they're gonna go further. They're going to Moldova, they will go to Baltic countries, they're already talking about the whole practically not even beyond borders of Soviet Union. They're talking about the borders of Russian Empire. So there wouldn't be no Finland, there would be no Poland as an independent country, nothing. It would be Russian Federation. I was watching the other day the video of Broe. Russia has a new insane idea. Well, it's not new, but very much insane. So Putin not only want to restore USSR, which, as you remember, probably was consist out of 15 republics. And one of those republics was Russia, then Ukraine, Baltic countries, and Kazakhstan, and Moldova, and everything. So, not just wanted to restore the USSR with all their republics, but perhaps Russian Empire. And then, as I said, will be no Finland, no Poland, no anything. So, this is the expansion, what Russia is going for. And it has to stop. Because at some point, the dictator has to be stopped. Now is the time, and Ukraine is doing it. All Ukraine needs is the weapons to be able to do that. Not fighting Russia with sometimes both hands tied behind the back. Oh, we only give you this weapon. Oh, we only give you that weapon. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. Ukraine got attacked. But even representative of the United States and UN saying, oh, Russia is bombing civilians in Ukraine. Russia is bombing infrastructure. So it's okay to kill Ukrainian army personnel? Since when? Russia attacked independent country of Ukraine. Ukrainian army defending their country. They didn't attack Russia. Russia attacked them. So it's not okay to kill Ukrainian army. It's not okay to kill any Ukrainian people, civilians or not. And it just blows my mind. Besides, this is not all of Russian Empire had. I reminding you, in case you don't know the history of United States, Alaska used to be Russia, and so was North California. I personally have been in California, and we visited Fort Ross. It used to be Russia. And even before the full-scale invasion, Russia was trying to put like a little poll, and Russian propaganda blow it out of proportion, and there was some sort of a poll in Alaska, who wants to go back to Russia. So Alaska go back to Russia, which was legally sold by all the international laws. So how far we gonna go? If we're gonna go and listen for that garbage Lavrov saying and Putin saying, first of all, before Lavrov, what next? Maybe British Empire want America back, United States, Canada, Australia, whoever was else in British Empire. Maybe Great Britain tomorrow would say, let's go back. I highly doubt that's gonna happen, but what international laws? If there is no law, there is nothing. This is what our society stands on the trust and on the law and on the property, private property. As I said in one of my videos, this is like a turtle on which standing little elephants, and then the world is standing on. Like that old model of the world, this is what it is. This is what Putin is proposing. And United States, you next. This is to people who, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and so on, uneducated, or corrupt, or plain ignorant people, who is saying the war in Ukraine isn't our war. Yes, it is. The nuclear threat of Russia applies to everyone. The threat of Russia applies to all of us. If we won't help Ukraine, who is next? Moldova, Baltic countries? Russian tanks already had a sign said to Berlin. They are fighting apparently Germany somehow in Ukraine, in their mind. Putin must be stopped. Please help Ukraine. Thank you for watching.